All right. Hi, and welcome to the Diablo podcast, your home for Diablo diehards, tryhards, casual, and hardcore alike. I am your host, Xanth, and I am joined once again by my lovely co-host, Nerdwords.
Oh,
Now, quick caveat: Nineball's just out sick. He's not. He didn't quit. You're tuning in. You're like, where's Nineball? He's out there. He's going to be back. Sometimes life gets in the way. And until we start making money, nobody's obligated to be here. But we do want him back. He did send in some thoughts. We will get to them. But holy fucking shit. Do
yeah.
we have some stuff to talk about? We were talking just not that long ago. We speculated what this was going to be. We had some theories. And yeah, I couldn't have predicted any of that. So, if you're new and you did not pay attention, and I would, if you are listening to the Diablo podcast, I think you know what happened yesterday. But in case you didn't, yesterday we got a full on reveal across all of the Diablo games, except for one or two. But we won't talk about those. Because you know what? This is a day about fun and excitement. We don't have to, we don't have to get all negative, Nancy. But a massive reveal of the Warlock class across Diablo 4, which we would already, heads up, thanks to everybody who, after we posted our last podcast, was
All
like,
that.
hey, just so you guys know, we already know what the class is. That was like shit. We could have waited like one day and had like a
Yeah.
little bit. But so
We were a day early.
Warlock was already out there. So like I came into this announcement going like, oh, this is gonna be cool. It'll be cool to see. And then it was like, oh no, guess what? It's Warlock in Diablo 4. It's Warlock in Diablo Immortal. And then the big it's Warlock in Diablo 2, nerd words. Diablo 2 just got a whole new class added to it. I am currently 14 at the moment. Like giddy to try a new class in one of my favorite games. I remember seeing the box art for the Amazon, or not the Amazon, the Assassin and the Druid and being like, this is going to change the game. I'm so ready for this. And now we have a new one, plus a whole bunch of other cool new stuff, new quality of life features in a game that most of us had just kind of assumed was done. There were hints, but holy, I audibly yelled when they said, and it's out today. I would bring my son down to confirm this, but he doesn't want to be on camera. But holy shit. So we've got a lot to talk about. We want to talk about the Diablo 2 stuff. We want to talk a little bit about the Immortal stuff. And then, obviously there's a lot of Diablo 4 information that was also brought out in both the reveal yesterday, as well as there was a Sanctuary sit down today where a few of the Diablo 4 developers got to talk a little bit and answer some community questions and some leaked IGN videos. Somebody messed up of the Warlock class. So lots and lots and lots and lots to talk about. Let's get into it. Let's talk just general reveal. What's that vibe? How are you doing? How do you feel about everything?
Excited. I will happily admit that I was dead wrong on the last podcast. We talked a bit briefly about the WoW share, right? The WoW stream that they had and how underwhelming it was. And shout out to another commenter on YouTube too that mentioned the Overwatch one that happened after we recorded that was apparently very, very good. I know they revealed a new hero as well, which was really cool.
5 new heroes.
Um, Five, no, wow, okay, yeah, so even better. So obviously they stepped it up there. So with Diablo 1, again, I still think it is beneficial to temper expectations, to go in going, you know what, there's going to be something, right? But I'm not going to get my hopes up too much. And in this situation, it worked out great because it blew my expectations out of the water, and was very, very good. I mean, I thought the presentation was great. I liked the developers and like kind of their cadence to the conversation they were having. It was pre-recorded, so it was, there was some editing and things like that, which felt good. It felt professional. It felt a little less off the cuff, like some of the live streams had. Um, Yeah, and looked great. And yeah, the Warlock looks badass. Looks very cool. I'm excited to see how it plays in Diablo 4. I've not jumped into Diablo 2 yet. I know we're going to get to that. I plan to do it this weekend for sure, but work and real life and all that stuff. But yeah, very very excited. Very pumped for the systems changes to both D2R and to Diablo 4. I mean, stackable gems and runes, like additional stash tabs in Diablo 2, like all the Diablo 2 quality, a loot filter. Blizzard is giving us a loot filter. What? Like,
In
I didn't have
Diablo
that on my
2
bingo card.
and Diablo 4.
In Diablo 2 and Diablo 4. Wild behavior. Wild behavior in a good way, I think. Yeah, very exciting stuff. I thought the artwork was incredible. They got Rahul Kohli voicing the Warlock too, who is a badass himself. Um, which, by the way, they are doing a contest for. If you're listening, they're doing a contest on Instagram where you can record the voice lines for the Warlock and submit them for a chance to win some cool stuff, which is really awesome. Fun little community thing. But I love Rahul Kohli a lot. My girlfriend's a huge iZombie fan. I just think he's a great dude, and he's very involved in nerd culture. So love Rahul Kohli quite a bit.
Also, friend of Kind of Funny. So it would be awesome, Raul. If you would
Come
like to
hang
come
with us,
on,
bro.
we would love to
Come
chat.
hang with us.
Uh,
Yeah, amazing.
but I will also point out he's also the main voice actor for Soros, which is launching
Yeah.
April 30th. Amazing game that's been on my radar for a while. I was supposed to be on review for Soros when it was going to be on for March, but when it got pushed to that Diablo date, I actually was in talks with Kind of Funny recently, just to be like, hey, there's no way I could review both, Lord of Hatred and Sorrow simultaneously. Like, I don't have that kind of time. But I'm so stoked for that game. When I saw that was Rahul that was going to be the voice
Yeah.
actor for the Diablo 2 Warlock, right? Like,
Yeah.
holy shit, that is awesome. I was reading a news piece earlier today in which he was talking about how that came to be because he had worked with Rod Ferguson before. So it's Rod Ferguson that puts this in motion, and that's the other part of all this stuff is we've lost a few people on the D4 team and well the Diablo team like Adam, Pez Radar, and obviously Rod Ferguson. And Rod Ferguson got a lot of shit, but like it's kind of interesting. Like these people leave, and then you're seeing the stuff that was going on that may have changed perspectives. It's not going to change everything, but like, to read, it was Rod Ferguson who's grabbing Rahul and like talking to him about Diablo 2 to the point where Rahul was like, "Are you sure it's Diablo 2 that you're talking about? Because I'm pretty sure the only game you're making is 4." Like that's how long this has been in the works, and here it is, kind of fully realized. So fucking cool. Also, I did see on Apple that we lost our clean tag, so I'm going to drop a few more f bombs, especially
Hell yeah.
in this episode,
Fucking
because
A right.
holy fucking shit. This this was such a cool moment. I think
Well,
the there were so many secrets that were held in that it is so cool to be genuinely surprised these days. We have some limited knowledge of like what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know everything. Like just being a Diablo partner, like they don't tell everything. Why would they? That'd be stupid. But like this was such a big secret. It blew my mind.
yeah, and I think a well kept secret too. I think. I mean, there's no surprise here. Most RPGs in this genre and in any genre take a lot of inspiration from Dungeons and Dragons, right? Like they likely grew up playing D&D, and that's what led to them creating a lot of these RPGs. So a warlock just feels like the most obvious choice for a game like Diablo, and it's kind of like, where has that been for 30 years? Like, so I really love that it's going into Diablo 2 as well too, because it shows that they're kind of setting up a retconned precedent for it being in the world, which I thought was an interesting take that you don't typically see out of game devs, right? Where they drop a new class in the old game and the new game a couple months later. I mean, that's a new one for me. It looks super dope. It definitely captures a lot of the flavor of what you think from a warlock, especially from a Dungeons and Dragons standpoint. I think. Um, yeah, and just that trailer was, I mean, Blizzard, you always crush trailers, but that when he put his forehead to the demon and the runes lit up, like I was so hyped. That was just the coolest. So many cool because there's I don't think it's just Rahul. There were like two other voice actors in that too. The one for Immortal and the one for Four. Um, Yeah, incredible. It was very, very, very cool. I'm excited to try it in Diablo 4, and I'll be playing it in Diablo 2 this weekend for sure.
I think going back to what you had said before, I love this thought of like, okay, we're going to put in a class that thematically makes a lot of sense in Diablo 4. Like having a warlock does make sense, but you know, the Spiritborn when we got it last time, the question was like, where were these people in all the other iterations? And you could say like, okay, well, they were predominantly in this area, so they just did not feel the need to intervene in what have you. Okay, but every time a class kind of comes in, it's just like, well, why wouldn't they have? We've had a reason for them not existing in essentially before, whereas like a warlock, somebody who is harnessing the power of demons, we have known has existed in the Diablo lore for a long time. Typically, they're portrayed as bad guys or they eventually become corrupted. But now to like,
Sorcerers, right? Like the
yeah,
Vishera clan, right? Like, I mean, quite
yeah.
literally. So, yep.
So to say like, hey, you know what? Yeah, they have been there. Now let's show you maybe a better iteration of that you can play with starting from Diablo 2. Then we'll integrate it into Diablo Immortal and then we'll bring it into Diablo 4. Noticeably, and I think it was brought up, there's one Diablo game in that timeline that warlocks do not exist at all, and that is Diablo 3. Why is that? I mean, logically, Diablo 3 has kind of ran its course in some ways. I mean, it's still going, it's still going to get its seasonal refreshes, but I think they are looking at Diablo 2 as being a place for further iteration. And
Well, I also think D2R. I mean, D2R, Diablo Immortal, Diablo 4 are the three most recent
right.
releases.
Yeah.
D2 obviously has been around for a long time, but D2R came out, after Diablo 3. Um, and so I also think that like if and look, I don't have any sort of like numbers here, but I'm just guessing. The majority of the plan base of the player base is in those three games. They're not in Diablo 3. I'm sure there's still people that go back and play Diablo 3, but like if I want to play a modern Diablo game like Diablo 3, I'm probably going to play Diablo 4. If I want to play Diablo 2, it's always there for me to go jump and play because it's still the one of the greatest, if not the greatest games of all time. And if you like mobile games and you play games like Diablo on mobile, then Diablo Immortal is a dope game. I don't play it. I played it for a little bit, but there are people out there that love that game, and hey, all power to them. I know the PvP systems that were in Diablo Immortal need to exist in a mainline Diablo game, but that's a soapbox for a different day. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me that it was in those three games, especially because D2R also has such an active and just hungry community.
Yeah.
Like we got those updates to the terror zones very early in D2R, and so this was really unexpected but pleasant to see because D2R is a great game. I still go back to it all the time. If I want to get my Diablo 2 itch, I definitely would rather look at D2R than the original.
Yeah.
Um, not to say the original's not great,
But
but
it's,
D2R is beautiful. So
yeah.
very cool and very, very exciting. And honestly gives me hope for more in the future because we still have BlizzCon and the 30th anniversary at BlizzCon, which I don't know. We'll see what's going to come from that too. But very, very excited.
Yeah, there still is something else, or maybe not just one thing, multiple things for BlizzCon. We did see the fake outtake at the end of the
Yeah,
announcement of
yeah.
like, oh,
Little
you
teaser. I like that
and
little teaser. It was
I
good.
know,
It was
like
good. Clever.
it does exactly what it needs to of like how do we tease BlizzCon without directly, and yeah, great. No notes like it but we all know it's fake. It is
Sure.
there to suggest that once again, this isn't it. There is something else for the 30th anniversary of this franchise. So we have to keep paying attention. That that's exciting. And what that could be, that we'll do a whole podcast on that at some point. That's not this podcast, but there's more.
We should
There's
probably look at doing one at BlizzCon. We'll both be there.
we will. So we should, yeah, we'll figure that out. Well, mobile podcast. We can
Figure it out.
do these things.
Tuck
I'm
into a
sure.
hallway somewhere.
Yeah. Press record. We'll see what we do. Uh, but the warlock being integrated across all three games is pretty exciting. And as you mentioned, let's start with Diablo 2, right? Diablo 2. for the for the first time since I was in high school gets a new class, and I've had just a little time. And I want to give credit to Blizzard as a Diablo partner. We were gifted a copy of the game. We actually we had the option between, if we did not have it, we could get the full thing, or we could just get like the class one. Yes,
I was
nerds.
not.
You were not. Sorry. Uh,
I mean, it's okay. I'm not complaining. I just want to state that I'm still not a Diablo partner. So
yeah, you were. I know. No. Well, I don't control these things. But we were like, I was gifted it. And then I bought another copy of it because I have it for PC. I needed it for PlayStation. I actually still need one for Switch. So, downside of being such a fan is you do have to buy it so many different times. But I'm not going to complain about really new content. I've gotten a brief chance to delve into the Warlock. I made a hardcore Warlock. I'm just about done with Act One, and it is just enjoyable to have this weird mix of nostalgia as well as uh, what's the word I'm looking for? It is
much perspective.
there's a nebulous nature to the class, like to not know something. This is a game that's been
Mm.
figured out. And now I'm playing with a class that I've looked up nothing. I've looked at no builds. I looked at the skill tree when I entered in, right? I'm like, okay, I can see I obviously saw the stuff within the presentation, but I don't know if I'm messing up. I don't know if I'm making a gigantic mistake yet. I'm just choosing things that I think look and sound fun. And it turns out that's a really cool way to play a game because
It's almost like it's
nobody
intended to
else,
be that way all the
right?
time.
Right? Nobody else really knows. And about 2, 3 days, maybe hell, by the time this podcast goes up, the math will have been kind of fully figured out. There will be a best
Oh,
build.
the math's already been figured out. It's already
Oh,
been figured out.
well, see, I'm still
Look, the llamas and gymnasiums of the world have been testing this for a while, apparently. So
right. Well, but they
they
also had a
fresh dropped all the unique items, all the
right.
videos are out already. I've seen
But
them. I haven't watched them yet, but they're there.
it does sound like they at least had a hand in it. And I think like somebody like Llama, I don't follow a lot of D2R content or D2 content, but that is a dude who has been putting in the work just on Diablo 2. And when everybody switched to D4 and everybody made content for D4, that is a guy that stuck to his guns and was just like, this game isn't for me. The Diablo
No, he actually
2
went to D4
is
as well. He
just
went to D4 as well.
for a little bit, but then he came
Yeah,
back.
yeah, but he was
Like,
doing content for it for sure. He
yeah,
went back.
but
But
like
yeah,
he predominantly was like, I'm gonna stay with my lane. Like I thought it's always willing to give things a new shot, but that's a guy who knows that game inside out, much like Macro, right?
yeah. That's
Where
actually where I met Macro from his content was
yeah,
from his Diablo 2 content. Yep.
so those are people that like them providing input into something as major as this is awesome. But for my own personal playthrough, I've been avoiding all of that to just be a kid again and just mess around by having a goat man pet. Is it probably the most overpowered version? I don't know. Maybe there's an amazing summon build that's crushing it out there. I'll find that out in a few weeks. Right now, I'm just having fun not knowing things. And that is the
Yeah.
most exciting. And what I would recommend to you is just, hey, go in. It does feel like the Warlock is overpowered. I can say that. I having leveled so many characters before, it feels a little stronger, but I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah, the dials are turned up just a little bit. That makes sense.
Just a
Um,
little.
it also just looks great. I love the whole like telepathically holding a weapon as well. It gives packed weapon vibes for again Dungeons and Dragons nerds, right? It's very much like a pact of the chain type situation or a pact when they summon their packed weapon. It seems really really cool. But I think there's so many more updates. I mean, the Warlock very cool, right? But you have the new terror zones, right? You can
Mm-hmm.
earn consumables now to turn an entire act into a terror zone, which is wild, and you could fight the terrorized act bosses for like extra rewards and stuff, which is very very cool. I think the rotation, they've done a rotation update as well too, changing every 30 minutes instead of an hour. From someone who was playing a lot of D2R and grinding those terror zones, that's a huge change. That's
Mm-hmm.
huge. Especially if you were super active and trying to to really grind out. I mean, terror zones were just such a pleasant update to D2R because it allowed you to grind XP in ways that didn't feel mind numbing. It
Right.
wasn't just bail runs, right? There was actually a reason to go do other stuff, which is very cool. But then you also have like the Colossal Ancients, right? Like the Uber Ancients version now too. Just a lot of really, really cool stuff, including new items, new rune words. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff to go in and play with for sure. If you want to go in blind, you should. That's the right way to do it, at least at first. Screw up your build, brick it, make it bad. You get respecs in Diablo 2 Resurrected anyway. So take those respecs and use them. But if you want the content out there, it exists. If you want to
Okay.
go know what the best is and know all that stuff, that is out there with your typical D2R creators for sure. So
Yeah. And not to mention, like, there is the Grail. You could now have your own, it's not called the Grail. It's escaping me at the moment.
Chronicle,
Chronicle. Um,
yep,
but
very cool.
you could do the Chronicle. And like, that's just like it has been something that people have been chasing for so long, and with spreadsheets and all that kind of stuff and outside trackers, to put it into the game itself is cool. And then like there's that other little bit of like your progress on it earns you small little things like
Yeah,
a different colored town portal, a character effect, footsteps. That's that's small. It doesn't impact anything, but it's definitely a motivator for a chase, just to be like, why not? Why not try and chase
yeah.
all of this? This it has something attached to it. It could be kind of fun. I mean, it's not going to be all the way fun, but it could be. So why
and
not?
and and, and Grail and completing the Chronicle is not an easy task.
No.
It is not an easy task. There are still items in D2R, as many hours as I've put in since I was a teenager. There are still items I've never found. So
Yeah.
it kind of makes me more, because I've thought about doing those kind of Grail quests before too, and I hadn't. But now that the Chronicle exists, it kind of inspires me to want to try that. I've done the 99 grind in Diablo 2 original. I've done the 99 grind in Diablo 2 Resurrected. I think the next big achievement for me in Diablo 2 would be Chronicle. That might be the thing that pulls me back in and gets me to grind for a while. But it'll be on a Warlock for sure. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna play a Warlock for sure. And then eventually, we're gonna
Other
get the
classes.
Sorceress up and running.
Oh,
Everyone knows how I do. It's got to be a Sorceress, but Warlock seems cool.
yeah, I think that's fair. It'll be exciting to kind of just go
Yeah.
through. And I was just having a blast earlier today. I was playing on the treadmill. I burned through all my miles today real quick, just enamored with something new. And I had to I would my daughter had ballet, and typically at her ballet class I'll bring the Switch 2 along, and I had to stop myself from purchasing Diablo 2 for it. I was like, nope, I've been riding, because apparently it's just I should only play games that were out when I was in high school. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy Tactics on the Switch 2,
Same
right?
actually,
And it's like this is my tactics time. I'm not
dude.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm not I'm not gonna. I will be
By the way,
able to
this is
play.
not a Final Fantasy Tactics podcast, but the
Right.
Ivalice Chronicles are incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. You should play them. Very good.
I one of my favorite games, and
Same.
like so cool to go back to. Just like with Diablo 2, again, it's a new Castlevania was announced today as well.
Yeah, I
Like,
know. Yeah.
there's a lot
Yep.
of cool stuff that's really me focused coming out right now. It's a great time to be Xanth. Okay, it's just a great Xanth time. Uh, all their parts of the world, real shit, and
Yeah.
but
Yep.
this particular moment, not awful. Um, okay, so we will probably talk more about D2R as the days come, and we get more hands on and just kind of reflections on the class itself, and really what the future is. I will bring up one thing that I'm just kind of curious about.
Yep.
Blizzard. has done something now that has not been done, and that is they took a Blizzard North product and they added to it. Now, not like terror zones, but they have now fundamentally changed the game. I think it's interesting. Like, obviously, they have the option to keep it legacy, and you're like, hey, the Warlock just never crosses over. You've got old Diablo 2. I'm curious if you think there's going to be any bit of pushback from those, Blizzard North purists that would
There already
say,
are.
yeah,
There already is.
I haven't seen it.
There are already people bitching and moaning about it. Bro, go play D2 Classic. No one cares.
Yeah,
Like, no one cares. Like, let us have our fun. The game exists as it exists. If you don't want to get the upgrade and don't want to play a Warlock and don't want to play with Warlocks, you can absolutely do that. There's literally no reason for outrage. But there's always small corners and pockets of the internet that will get outraged about everything, especially other people being excited or having fun.
that's fair. I'm It was a thought that came to mind, like as I was very excited. I was excited that a game that I enjoy was getting something new, but
Hmm.
I can understand that perspective. Like, this was a property created by Blizzard North that when it came out was transformative, and then obviously it kind of was shuttered. We know the history of Blizzard North. D2R comes out and it's an homage. It is, hey, we are gonna gussy up this old game and make it look beautiful as you remembered it. But like, that was the thought of, like, we're just paying homage to what this game was.
Yeah.
And now we've taken that step of, like, hey, now we're changing what Diablo 2 was. And I can see where some people could be upset of, like, no, this isn't Diablo 2 anymore. This is something else. But in my personal opinion, I'm with you. Like, it I think they've done the right choice of saying, "Hey, if you don't want this, you don't need to have it. Your Diablo 2 Resurrected plays just like this. It doesn't have to cross over. You can still keep it."
Yep.
I think that
And there's
that's the
always
best
D2
way.
Classic too. Like, you just go
Right.
play the original Diablo 2 and not worry about any of that stuff. So
Correct.
whatever.
Yeah. But an
Well, and
interesting
I'll
perspective.
the funny thing to me is when I was watching the update, I immediately started thinking about that. Like, okay, there's gonna be people out there that are mad about this. I know there are, and the reason why what got me with it was the Chronicle rewards, the
Mm,
town portal. Like, that's technically a cosmetic, right? Those are cosmetic
right.
items that don't really exist in Diablo 2 right now, not really. And so they added some cosmetic items for completing the chronicle or for completing parts of it. And I immediately was like, oh, there's going to be some incel out there that's so mad about that. We drink your tears, incels. It's fine. Just get over it. Go play your old game. It's fine.
Yeah, I think in general it is totally fine to have like it is now just an
It
option.
costs nothing. It's
Right.
completely free. If you complete parts of the chronicle, you get some cool stuff. But I've
Right.
seen people complaining on Reddit and other things about that, and I'm just like, dude, like, it literally
I mean,
changes no
it
gameplay whatsoever, right?
right.
Like, what are we talking about?
It is the internet. People will complain no matter what.
Yes.
I will say,
Yep.
like, the vast majority of reactions have been positive. Like,
Super positive.
everybody's been
Yes.
super
Yes.
stoked about it. Um, but
Especially the D2 creators.
yeah,
The ones who, like you said, like Llama and that whole group of people that have been grinding and playing Diablo 2 every ladder season, every reset, when D2R came out, all that stuff, they're the ones that have really been putting in the time with this, and they all seem very excited, very, very excited, and were brought in to test and make
right.
sure it was good for the community. Like, I think that Blizzard did the right thing by choosing the right community people to be the testers of this. And I think that there needs to be more said about Blizzard bringing those people into this early. That's really cool, and I assume they're doing that with some other Diablo 4 stuff and other stuff they're doing with the Diablo franchise in general. But that was, I think, the biggest like plus for me was going, oh, you actually pulled in the right people for this. Okay, so let's keep doing that because that's
Yeah.
awesome. But very cool, very very cool.
No, I mean, in tandem, you have to look at like Project Diablo 2. You know,
Yeah.
that is something
Hmm.
that has been going on for a long time, is getting continual updates. People keep coming back to it because what does it do? It takes Diablo 2 and it keeps iterating on it in a manner that provides fun, provides chase. And I think there is that moment right now with D2R where it had been a little stagnant. This is a huge shot in the arm where maybe we do start to see some of those things that are already pushed out in Project Diablo 2 to make it more fun, right? To have a better time. Maybe we get a new act. Maybe we get something, like there are all these cool
That would be
options,
wild
right?
if they gave us an Act Six. Like,
Yeah.
actually, would be insane. Um,
But
I'm not holding my breath for that, but that would be insane. It'd be really cool.
I think everything is on the table now because I think it's just like, hey, we're going to put this out. Let's see what the community does with it. Let's see how they respond to it. And if there's enough interest, maybe they do. Maybe they do push out more. Because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
It is really cool right now. All right. So in some ways we're following the program, right? Diablo Immortal comes next.
Which, as a preface, we should both say neither of us play, so we are not authority figures on this at all. But we can give you the news.
Yeah. They're
The
all
one person that has experience with that is Nine, and he's not here.
yeah.
So, yeah,
So Diablo Immortal comes out next. They are also getting a Warlock and a whole bunch of other stuff. And yeah, seems pretty cool. That's
yeah, it does. Again, I don't play Immortal. If I played mobile games, I would. It's not
yeah,
that I have anything against Immortal. I don't play on my phone. I'm just not. I don't know. I've never been a phone gamer. I wish I had the attention span for it. I want to avoid my phone at all costs. So
right.
playing a game on it is not an option for me.
I feel like
But yeah, no, I mean,
in some ways, like in talking about that, like when I have time to play on my phone, I have time to play my Switch, really.
exactly. Yeah,
So
yeah. I have
like
mobile gaming devices for that. Yeah,
I think like that's the biggest hindrance for it is like, especially now, I could technically be playing Diablo 2 with the Warlock on
yeah.
that. Um,
Well, I think so. Yes, Warlock in Immortal, very cool, very awesome. What got me about Diablo Immortal's announcement, though, was the return to Loot Go Lane,
mm,
which we have not seen in Diablo 4 yet.
right,
And I mean, any D2 head knows the importance of Loot Go Lane, especially in the narrative and the story, but also just for like the cool factor. They're also bringing in Dariel into Diablo Immortal, which is very cool too. So I mean, again, not as much info on kind of that stuff. We just know that Dariel's invading in some form or fashion. Like I'm sure there's a quest line stuff you're gonna do for it, but Loot Go Lane being back and being, the future version, right? So like after D2, this because Diablo Immortal takes place between Diablo 3 or no, sorry, between Diablo 2 and Diablo 3.
right.
Um so seeing what happened to Loot Go Lane post the Wanderer walking through it, we hadn't seen yet. I mean, yeah, so like seen physically. So I just, yeah, very, very cool. I might pop into Diablo Immortal just to go check that out because that's really awesome. Loot Golane's an awesome city. So,
Yeah.
and then Andariel, I mean, she's always awesome. So I'm seeing her come into Immortal seems pretty cool. So
Yeah. Again, I think we've talked about it before with Diablo Immortal. When we had Risha on, she was, she talked about it too. Um, like the story elements of the game work really well. There's a lot of cool stuff there, and I you can get all of that without spending a single cent, right? All that story stuff they're going to give you for free. What they want, when they want to get your cash, that's the end game side. So if
yeah,
you are looking to just jump in and catch that story, it won't cost you a single cent. So at least there's that, and I think like that is a nice little stepping stone. So
yeah,
the hard part, though, I think, is just time. Time is the resource that we have very little of because we got Diablo 2 Warlock yesterday. And then we get D4 Warlock April 28th. And that may seem like it's farther away than what it actually is, but it's not. It's pretty close. Um, so we should talk about that. Diablo
yeah.
4. And what, based on last podcast, uh, a horribly kept secret. Uh, some art gets leaked
I didn't
online.
know about it, but
Yeah,
I wasn't in the know. So
yeah. We get a little bit of art that surfaces from a Chinese client, and then it was also found on the PTR, where first it's like, hey, this is what the this has got to be the new class. Look at it, and then somebody was able to find the actual data mine the name of the actual arts, and it had Warlock in it. So that was enough to kind of put the pieces together. So there we were. We knew it was going to be a Warlock. Oh, but what does that mean? What does that look like, and how does it work in Diablo 4? Holy shit! I was talking with a friend earlier. I feel like what I have seen, and courtesy of those IGN videos, is I got a heavy witch doctor kind of vibe with a few other play styles mixed in. But the second I saw the wall of like summonable goats, I was like, that's a wall of the dead. Like that is a witch doctor ass skill. Temporary minions is very much a witch doctor kind of vibe, and I am 100% all for it. Um,
hmm
it looks awesome. We already got a chance to play, kind of hands on with the paladin. Now that that's been out, it seems like every class, like go back to the Spiritborn, new class. You've had an opportunity to learn from mistakes and what works and what doesn't. Spiritborn comes out, it kicks ass. Paladin comes out, it kicks ass. I don't think the Warlock has a chance to suck. Like I don't
oh
think,
no, there's no way it's gonna be good.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like it looks so spectacular that I am like, and we'll talk about it in a minute, why I won't be starting a Warlock, but it is like right there where like, holy shit, this looks awesome. What were your impressions as you kind of were given the tease of the Warlock here?
I mean, it looks amazing. I think similar to D2R. Again, I was excited about the class. We knew there's another one coming. We called that it looked like a caster, not like a Amazon. So we got something right. I got something right at least.
Right.
So that was cool. I also love. I play mages in every game I'm in, so any form of mage, I will try it at least a couple times. So I will be playing a warlock as soon as it goes live, and then I'll switch to a source, after the first weekend probably. But no, I think just like the D2R stuff we talked about, like the warlock looks badass, but there's so much more stuff that I'm more excited about than the warlock. Warlock looks cool, but like
We are
all the other
saving that. We
stuff,
are going to talk
I
about
know
that
that's why
in
I'm
a
not, but that's
minute.
what I'm excited about. So
I get it.
I'm pumped for
I
the rest of that.
get
So.
it. I will point out. So Nineball did make mention of this, that in the community there has been this desire to like get this angels and demon aesthetic kind of going. That the Nephilim are descendant of angels and demons, so having more demonic and angel kind of presence or playable factions. In fact, I mean, if you recall, at one point in D4's beginning, they showed that we would have demonic or angel powers built into items, right? So there was like some
hmm
sort of suggestion of like being able to tap into those particular sides.
hmm
With the introduction of the paladin, tapping into that angelic side, and the now warlock on the demonic side, it feels like, and Nineball brought this up, that it is a nice way to placate those desires, right? That this is
Yeah,
something that people have been wanting, and now the 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 team has found a way to actually make that happen in a way that
yeah,
makes sense within the world of Sanctuary. So I think Nineball's 100% spot on that.
yeah. I would agree. Yeah, very, very. I mean, especially like Paladin and Warlock in the same expansion. We're getting Mephisto's return, truly, quote unquote. We'll, we'll see.
Until
We'll see how it goes. We're hoping. I mean, we've seen at least we saw full on Mephisto in the cinematic, not Wolfisto. So we'll see. But no, I am really excited about it. And I think it was. I mean, the more I've sat with the Warlock announcement, the more it makes sense to me. Like how have we not had somebody channeling demon energy before now? In almost every RPG, you have um, some sort of class leaning in that direction, right? And I think that Necromancer filled that niche for a while with the undead, but demons and undead are very different, and so I think very cool, um, and very thematic for Lord of Hatred and what we're going into, especially when you get into the rest of the details. But yes,
Yeah.
very excited about it.
I think you are right in terms of if we go back to D2, the necromancer was kind of like as evil as our character could be. In fact, that was a
Could
huge
be, yeah,
appeal of like why to play a necromancer, of like, okay, it's this like dark caster that summons the dead, but like really, the lore is saying they're all about balance. It's not
balance. Yep.
evil, but we do have all these stories of these demon, summoning sorcerers. What would it be like to play them? And yeah, here it is. And like we've had
Look, I'm right. I'm going to say this because they even mentioned Vishera in the actual 30th anniversary.
you know
But like, if the warlocks that are the good ones, right, the ones we're going to play with, are some subsect of the Viserai clan that has like
mm,
continued that legacy of that clan, that's gonna be just so cool. Like
right.
so cool. I might play them just because of that. Yeah, because I don't think there's any cooler faction in Diablo than the Vishera clan. I think they're very cool. So much history and lore and just nonsense tied to them that it'll be really exciting to see if they play on that. And I think that they will. It seemed like that in the trailer because they mentioned it. I believe it was in the actual cinematic they mentioned that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to look at it again though. Now I'm second guessing myself.
Yeah, it will be it'll be very cool. And as I said, like watching the gameplay vibe, I played a witch doctor for the bulk of Diablo 3 because there wasn't a necromancer or a druid. So like this was just the class that generally appealed to me, and it very much grew on me being able to, have these quick summonable minions, and then, like a few permanent minions, but like it was just kind of fun. It was different. And
Yeah,
there's some witch doctor vibes in this class. It's not full
sure.
on, but
It's
there's
there.
yeah.
It's there. Yeah.
And like it kind of needs it because it has to be different than the necromancer. It had
Yeah.
like you can have minions, but you can't have a minion army, right? Like you don't get to
Yep.
do what the necro does because you have to be different. Um, but so far so good. I am very intrigued by this, and I can't wait to see and hear from Nine Ball as a necromancer main if maybe he might be swayed into this. He's not going to.
Oh, I don't think so. I
No,
mean, like he'll try it, maybe, but that
I
boy
don't
is
think he's played it.
necromancer
Yeah,
through and through.
yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
It's like me. It will take it'll be very difficult to pull me from a sorceress.
Yeah,
I've been playing sorceress forever. Like in every game I play a
right.
mage of some kind that resembles it. I like elemental magics.
Yeah,
Turns out warlocks have fire, so that's pretty cool. So let's
it's
go.
true. I don't have those kind of loyalties. I will
Play
bandwagon.
a druid forever.
Right. Yeah, I predominantly will play Druid, but I bandwagon onto whatever's hot
Oh,
because
you got
it's
to
gonna be
try the
fun.
new
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah. Um, okay. So we have a brand new class coming to Diablo 4. It is very exciting. There's gonna be more details. We're getting a full reveal March 5th, and I think that's when that IGN embargo was probably supposed to go,
March the 5th.
right?
Yes, March 5th.
It's kind of wild that it would leak that early. Those videos are out there. Go take a look at them though, because why wouldn't you? It's a great way to.
They exist. The internet never forgets.
I know it does not forget, and it saves its information rather quickly. That's
Oh yeah.
so, but it's not just a class. We had heard there are some things happening in the expansion, and we got some glimpses. We don't got full details, but we got some
We got
glimpses.
some good detail.
Yeah.
We got more detail than I expected.
Uh so we we have an endgame rework in terms of battle plans. Um, we have the Echoes of Reflection. We have skill trees. We have the Haradric Cube. Where do you want to start?
In none of those places because boys, team, everyone, we're going to fucking Scovos. We're going to fucking
Well,
Scovos.
we've
We're
known
going to
about
see where the
that.
listen, but we really know about it now. Okay, we've seen artwork.
Yeah.
We've seen marble fucking buildings and streets.
Mm-hmm,
We have seen
mm-hmm.
statues of Anarius and fucking Lilith, like the
Not
statues outside of the
they
White
were
City of
separate.
Gondor in Lord
They
of
weren't in action.
well, whatever,
You, I
whatever.
mean, like, uh, if there is that statue, that would be awkward.
True, that's true,
So,
but they are
Anarius,
separate statues, but it's badass. It looked beautiful. And they talked about Temis, the capital city, which is very cool. Yeah, we just got to see kind of like a broad sweeping like shot of like the city and then different like little scenes from around the city. And I also noticed that they're doing some really cool things with the dynamic backgrounds where like they showed it wasn't in the city. This was like a different thing they were talking about. They showed someone like way up and you could see like lava exploding down in the background, like way off, like nowhere you could go, but just like the dynamics of that, they did a really good job of that in Diablo 4 proper. But it seems like they're kind of taking that and iterating it further for like an art perspective. It looks amazing. But we are going to fucking Scovos. We've been talking about Scovos since 1999, since Diablo 2. I mean, really, some of us particularly have been talking about it for even longer than that, right? Since Diablo 1 and some of the novels. So, yeah, going to Scovos, so cool. Uh, very, very excited to see what we learn about this area in the Ascari. Because that's going to be what and I'm sure Nine is also very excited about too, the lore, the story, the pieces that we don't have to the puzzle that they're going to plug in for us. Um, yeah, I'm just so excited. Scovos looks so good. I can't wait. Because we're gonna see Amazons, right? We're gonna see Valkyries. We're gonna see that culture that Cassia came from in Heroes / Diablo 2. Like we're gonna see that, and we've never gotten to experience that before. Like we got to see Westmarch in Diablo 3, right? We've seen a lot of Condorus in general, right? We have never, ever, ever been to Scovos. So I am so pumped. I hope they find a way to fit in some sort of a ship battle, right? It's islands, right? You got to travel from,
right?
and what if you're on a boat and you get attacked by some demons? That'd be a cool little. Anyways, I'm just spitballing here. It sounds dope. I'm very excited about Scovos. Scovos is gonna be sick. Cannot wait.
Yeah. It is exciting to go somewhere new. To again have we talked a little bit about it. I think on the last podcast that the the writers have a blank slate to create whatever they want for this area because it really hasn't had anything. We know who's there, but we just don't know anything about it. So like them saying like, "Hey, Scovos is the birthplace of creation. This is where they were," and like, okay, oh, cool, that's awesome. We got
Well,
more,
I was also gonna say too. I think the other part that's really exciting about it is they've mentioned it, here and there, but like they've kind of retconned Nephilim right into Firstborn.
right?
And part of this release of this announcement was that there's whispers of the Firstborn, and that this is the first civilization of Sanctuary, and that is incredible. Does that mean we could find out more about what happened to our Diablo 3 characters? Because I don't know what else you'd be talking about with Firstborn in this instance. You know what I'm saying? Like that
Right.
could be really cool. And in case you didn't notice, in all of the stuff leading up to the 30th anniversary announcements, like the snapshot trailer, they actually showed Leah and Diablo 3 snips in there too, which they had kind of kept Diablo 3 completely apart from anything Diablo 4 related until the last year, really.
Right.
So to see that means they're leaning in. Obviously, they're leaning into some of the mechanics of Diablo 3. Might as well not forget their story there too. Um, but if we hear, I mean, just the idea of hearing more about the Firstborn, what was the Nephilim? Um, that's pretty exciting to me too. So yeah, very excited about that.
Okay. So there's gonna be some lore. I'm intrigued by the lore. Don't get me wrong. I love a good Diablo story,
But you're not here for the story.
but I'm not here for the story. I don't play the campaign every day.
I
Um,
don't. That's true.
right? I need the day in, the day out. What is happening? So let's talk with the one that I think is huge, and that is the skill tree rework. We
Oh
have
my God. Yep.
heard about this for a while. It has been known it was going to happen. They acknowledge it in the video for them to go like, yes, we've heard the skill twig
They made this
jokes.
guild twig joke. Yeah, yeah.
We
I thought that was funny.
we get it, and they're not wrong, right? Because the skill tree has been lackluster.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's fair. I think
this
that's fair to say.
this version, and until we actually get into it, it's going to be hard to truly judge it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more shit on there.
There's
there
so much more shit on there. Yeah.
there is a lot of options
Yeah.
that seem to be available. We do know like a couple of things that you can suss out from the videos that aren't directly stated. We know the level cap is going to move up to 70. We know that Torment 5 exists now. Um, so with that level cap moving up, we know we're getting more skill points. I believe the max skill points that we get is 83. Um, so we have a lot of
Skill ranks
skill
go up to
points.
12,
The
which we
ranks
found
go
that
up
out
to
a little earlier.
right.
But yeah. Yeah.
But so we're going to be spending a lot more skill points, but it seems like we're going to be spending them purposefully, ranking up our
Yeah.
skill in tandem with personalizing it. As
Yeah.
we saw with the example of the hydras, having
Which looked great.
having some ice hydras, being able to control like what they do, and essentially it does appear as if a lot of the aspects have been moved to the tree. Something that was brought up for years.
Literally in beta.
Yeah.
Literally in beta. Yep.
Um,
Um, so such a good change. I don't even have to see it. I already know it's a good change.
right.
It'll be better than what we have. Will it be perfect? Probably not, but it will be better.
No, but I want to stress I still don't like Paragon,
I mean, yeah.
right?
Yep. Same.
But Paragon may feel better when it's not just doing what the skill tree does, right? If the skill tree is
Yeah.
actually customizing skills and making them feel like choices, and then the Paragon is accentuating those choices, powering
Yeah.
up the choices that you've made instead of like, all right, on my skill tree, I'm just going to take a shit ton of passives. And then on my Paragon, I'm just taking a bunch of passives. And it's all my gear, and like nothing really seems to matter. I think that's going to feel better. It like I still don't want to click anything 200 times. I do want Paragon to get reworked, but if the choices I've made and my skill tree feels pretty good, maybe Paragon's going to feel a little bit better, right? And we know
Yeah. I think so.
there's no Paragon rework happening right now. They've said they don't
Yeah.
have that. Um,
They're reworking enough, right?
right.
Like they're reworking a lot more of the game, and
There's
we've already had the game reworked several times. So,
yeah, there's enough happening. But
by the way, I love this new dichotomy of Diablo 4 players when they're like, "Oh, I play Diablo 4." Like, okay, cool. Which version Diablo 4 though? Right? Like we talking like preseason 1, we talking postseason 1, we talking postseason 6,
yeah,
right? Like where right? That's always a good quantification you get from people when you're like, "Oh, I play Diablo 4." It's like, okay, but when?
when, yeah. Have you been there for all of them? Because we should talk.
I have, and it's been painful in some moments, but you know what? We have fun anyway.
Yeah. Um, it's a video game. It's
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it's not going to hurt you.
exactly.
And you don't have to play it. It's kind of weird. There have been seasons where I wrote it out for a bit, and I'm like, yeah, all right, I can just call this. It's not my job. Like I don't have to do it. That's okay.
Yeah,
But this skill tree rework does have me hyped because
yeah,
it also works in tandem with the other things that we are seeing, like a talisman and sets. And I'm going to bring this up, and we'll come back to it. But today in the sanctuary sit down, boys, we did it. We fucking did it because there's going to be a druid set. Yeah, this is why I'm going to be playing a druid at start. Bear companion. What?
Happy for you. I'm very happy for you.
Bear companion. What? Bear companion, maybe multiple bear companions. Did we do it, chat? Are we done? Yeah. Like,
We're cooked.
am I responsible for that? Hell no. Have I been complaining about it a lot?
Hell yeah.
Yes. Am I sad I don't get to complain about it anymore? Maybe a little, you
Yeah,
know.
tiny bit.
But yeah, they were talking a little bit about talisman. They were talking about skill trees and aspects. And I believe it was Bjorn who brought up like, hey, one of the cool things we can do is we can maybe have bear companions on a druid set. And I was like, you know what? We're done here. Lock it up.
That's all I
Like
need to hear.
I
Sold me.
I I
Done.
was I was already planning on going Warlock, and I have completely changed my mind, Bjorn. Thanks a lot for that. So bear companion out of the way. I have mentioned it. Life is good. Uh, we get sets, and we've talked. We have talisman, so we're getting actually several things. We're getting a talisman, charms, and sets simultaneously, right? We have this separate item slot that we can socket in charms, much like in Diablo 2, but they also have properties and have set options that can unlock different abilities, like in Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. What are your thoughts on this? This has been a hotly debated issue of like, should sets be in Diablo 4 after they were much maligned from the Diablo 3 days and used as kind of uh, a a way to change the meta consistently by changing numbers?
I would say it was a railroading experience. If you're
Yeah,
familiar with the term from Dungeons and Dragons, it is the
I
game
like
developers
that example
railroading you
much
into a
better.
build. Yeah,
Yeah,
it railroads you into a build. It goes, oh, you want to play the game? This is the right way to play it. If you don't play this way, you're not playing the right way. As long as it doesn't become that, I think we're good, right? And I think it looks a little different. It looks ancillary compared to the rest of your sets, right? Like,
right.
it's a separate piece that adds on to your power, doesn't replace your power. I think the problem you had with it in Diablo 3 was that you had so many sets that were so strong and constant reworks and all that stuff, but they took up all of your item slots. I mean, most of your item slots that were important. So by the end of the season, you were wearing, a whole set or multiple sets, depending on what build you were doing, and a few add-on pieces, and you use the cube to kind of fix that. It does look like the cube is going to be similar to Kanai's cube in the sense that it has obviously like the Herodric cube and the way it worked in Diablo 2 and the way Kanai's cube worked in Diablo 3 were very different. Similar ideology in the way that you can use it to craft other things, but also like much more utilization than just that too. And I liked Kanai's Cube in Diablo 3. I thought it was a welcome addition. I thought it was very, very good and positive for the game overall, even with the sets and all that stuff. But the idea that like you could take a rare item and add an affix to it and upgrade it to legendary is fucking dope. Is there a reason that you're gonna want to chase blues and yellows now? I don't know, probably not. But like, do they become more relevant? That's pretty cool. There's a little sample size of stuff we saw on the sidebar for the Roderick Cube seemed interesting. I don't know how I feel. It was one of those things where I'm kind of trepidatious until I get my hands on it. I don't want to be too high or too low on it. It seems interesting and different enough that it seems like something fun to play with, but it doesn't seem like it's just carbon copying something from the other games too. It seems like they're taking it and trying to innovate it and make it its own thing in Diablo 4, and I really hope they executed it well. And I trust that they have. I mean, they've brought really good systems into the game, and they continue to do so. So surely they're adding this because they feel like it brings better ownership and agency over your character by having it. Surely, right? Surely.
Yeah, I I like having more things to do, right? More ways to chase player power that doesn't have to just be this, in the current iteration, right? If you are looking for particular items, you have to run these bosses. You have to kind of grind the keys to like make it work. And if I'm able to find a way to make myself more powerful that deviates a little bit or at least runs in parallel with what I'm already doing, that's always fun. It's like there's that
Yeah,
other little lottery that I'm entering to kind of make things work. And
yeah,
it goes back to the if I'm not getting the loot that I want and I'm barely getting any XP, how do I know that I'm making progress? And sometimes it is just that I was able to take 3 shots at a ring and try to make it work. And I didn't get it, but I'm getting closer. It's getting better.
yeah. Oh yeah.
That
Well, and I believe there was. I'd have to go back and look at the clip again, but I think there was some sort of upgrade to unique or something like that in the list, or
mhm,
at least it looked like that's what it said, or something to that effect. I mean, if you tell me that I can use my cube to supplement the uniques I'm trying to hunt from bosses and don't have to run bosses, or can use it like run bosses and still have this as an option to help farm it too, that'll just make farming those items much faster and
right.
much more pleasant, I think. So I'm with you. I think it's great, and anything that gets me to I think the boss ladder system has gotten better, right? But it still has its issues, and it can still feel a little dull
Yeah.
if you get into too much of a grind with it. So
Yeah. It is again always exciting to have something else happening. In tandem with that, we've got war plans.
yeah,
We I know at least one person who has complained about certain content that they don't want to run. At least one person on the podcast who's complained about certain content that they don't like doing. Um, does this alleviate that?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know. It seems good. It's again, I want to get my hands on. I want to know more about it. Like, we've got really high level takeaways from it. We didn't get like a deep dive yet. Um, but I mean, look, you choose an activity type and you're able to gain rewards as you do those activities, and you have a skill tree for each activity that ranks up as you do that activity more. But then does that lead to a situation where like, okay, like I like maybe me and my buddies are running, like I'm running hell tides all the time. My buddy, he doesn't really like running hell tide, right? So he's focused more on bosses. And so does that lead to like disparaging gameplay if we play with each other? I'm kind of curious about that. Or like, oh, I want to run lair bosses because I've leveled up my tree and I haven't, and I don't care to run lair bosses, so now I'm not going to play with friends because our war plans aren't the same. I'll have to see how that plays out. I assume that it's going to be more cohesive than that, and hope it will. But until I get my hands on it, it's hard to say. I will say that another tree system in this game, like we've got paragons, we've got paragon, we've got skill trees, right? We've got like the quest, like the world quest system, right? Like there are so many like systems on systems on systems that now we're adding another system to overlay all the other systems. It's like, bruh, like someone starting Diablo 4 and Lord of Hatred and never playing any of the rest of Diablo 4 is going to be like, okay, so where do I begin? Like it's gonna feel like a lot. I feel like.
I
Um,
I
I hope
will.
there's a good way to onboard new players. Is what
I
I'm
was
saying.
I
That's what I'm
was
trying to say.
I was gonna say that I think if there's one thing that Diablo 4 has excelled at from like start to finish, it's onboarding, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like
Yeah,
I by comparison to Path of Exile, especially Path of Exile 2, I think like the onboarding for Diablo 4 is exceptional. Path of Exile
yeah.
2, while it did start a little bit more friendly as it's been in early access.
It's already getting out of
I
hand.
I think it has started to, and I think like it's actually working against itself in that goal of like broadening the audience. I still love it. I want to like I'm not trying to disparage it, but it is nowhere near as like friendly to like a new player as what it could be. I would hope that with a new expansion, if somebody's coming in and hadn't played before, and hell, I would imagine even with people who have played before, they're gonna need to be onboarded into this new skill tree, into
Yeah,
this war plan system, and I I think the war plan system will probably be more intuitive of like, okay, I've reached end game. Now what happens? How does this work? Where you'll be like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, this is logical. I can see it. I think they're going to do a good job with that at least.
Oh, sure.
Whereas when I've entered into Path of Exile's mapping system, especially Path of Exile 2, and you get this big old open world, and it's just like, all right, figured out.
And that's what worries about that. That's my worry is having experienced that in the mapping system for Path Two.
Yeah,
I hope and I assume it's not because Blizzard does a really good job, like you said, at onboarding new players. I just hope it's better than what that felt like.
yeah,
Because jumping into that, even for someone who is experienced, was like, yo, I don't care about any of
right.
this. Like this, it was, yeah,
I mean,
cumbersome.
if we were to use classic Diablo as an example, there were good amount of breadcrumbs to. I mean, even in the most recent season, as they kind of rework things, breadcrumbs to get you to, hey, what is it you do now that you're done with the story? What is it you do now that you're
Mhm.
done with the seasonal quest line? Oh, go talk to this person. We got all these bosses out here. You could probably go kill them if you want. Oh man, did you see that Helltide thing? Oh, have you ever heard of a pit? You want to go in the, like, I imagine
Yeah,
it'll be something akin to that, probably with
yeah.
maybe an NPC of some sort being like, "Oh, I I need help with my plans for war.
My war
Wanderer, could
plans.
you help?" I think is I actually sorry, I wasn't supposed to tell, but I am the voice actor for War
For
Plans
Kane,
McGee. War
good job,
Plans
buddy. Good job.
McGee. Uh
Good job.
the War Plannerer for
Yep.
Diablo 4 Lord of
It's been
Hatred.
it's been a very kept secret for a long time, and you're really ruining that NDA now.
Well, now that's out. Um, I just want to
What are you
thank
gonna do?
all the people who believed in me and War Plans McGee.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
Wasn't me. Wasn't me. I thought it was stupid. You shouldn't do it.
yeah, you did say that. You sent me several messages that just said you should be embarrassed and
Yeah, you should be
saddened
embarrassed. You
by,
are uh you are a blight upon your family and your clan.
right, you are
You have
ruining
brought
this
shame.
for me, is what you said.
Yep.
And
Yep.
yeah, I had a
And you're
job to
welcome.
do, really.
Look, it's
I
what
was
friends are for,
hired
right? We got it.
specifically to do this.
Got to shoot you
They
straight, Sam.
they reached out. They said, "Xanth, we need you. We need you in here."
We need, only you can do the
This
voice of War Plans McGee.
All right, if any Diablo developer does listen to this, and I know you
Mm.
do, um Warplans McGee is a gift I am giving to you
I
for
mean,
free.
and it keeps giving. It keeps
Yeah.
giving.
It
Keeps giving.
doesn't have to be my voice, but Rahul Kohli can't do all of them, and I will work for cheap. I'm not
It's true. He
free.
will.
Not free. Mm-mm,
It's true.
mm-mm. I do not work for free, but I will do this for you. Let's go back to it because we're gonna get lost in the sauce here, and that's
Yeah.
dangerous. Um, the I do think the onboarding will maybe assuage some of those fears that you have about skill trees
I
on
hope so.
skill
I mean,
trees on skill trees.
it's less a fear and more again tempering expectations.
Right.
I've learned to be careful at getting my hopes up, not because Diablo doesn't do things successfully, they absolutely do, but because I get so hyped sometimes that even a win can feel like an L if I'm
Yeah.
not careful. And I think that us as a community go through that like as an entire community often. So this is me just trying to advocate for hey everyone, this looks dope. I'm so excited. It's gonna be great. But we also need to like deep breaths,
Yes.
right? Deep breaths. Everyone breathe in, breathe out, right? We got BlizzCon coming up. It's going to be some cool stuff. But let's just take account of all the things we're getting right now and appreciate. And if we get even cooler, better stuff down the road, even better.
I think that is a very good approach to kind of have right now. There is an upswell of positive Diablo feelings, right? Around
Yeah.
Diablo 2, Diablo Immortal, and Diablo 4. When Diablo 4 is it is loved but maligned And whenever there is that large positive feeling of it, it's easy to become a little bit more trepidatious about what is actually going to happen. Are we overhyping ourselves? The Diablo 4 was a very hyped game. We were very excited for it. It does not kind of come out in the fashion that we were hoping. We then go into, Vessel with all the hopes of what an expansion can do, as have we had seen with Reaper of Souls and Lord of Destruction. Vessel falls flat. So yeah, Lord of Hatred has that, kind of thing. But what I will say is I think there's a big difference between what we got with Vessel and what we're getting here, right?
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
Like what we were just talking about with the cube, the skill tree rework. This expansion very much feels like addressing the concerns of the game that people have been espousing for so long, as opposed to just adding content to the game. Like Mercenaries and Vessel felt like we're just adding things that people have liked before, but like they don't address any of the core issues. We're adding a new class to the game, but we're not addressing any of those issues with the classes, with the skill trees. If anything, the Spiritborn makes the skill trees seem worse because it's the one that got the best version of this skill tree. This doesn't seem to be doing that, right? This seems to be like taking like, hey, these are the things that we recognize. These are the things that we've been working on fixing, and we're ready for you to play with it. So I think honing and capturing that feeling, but being reticent is okay. It's okay to not want to be hurt again. I get that.
Yeah. Well, I think that I'm gonna take my copium hat off for a second here. My copium hat's coming off because I think that the real truth is that we're seeing the product of a live service development game. I think that Vessel was in the pipe before Diablo 4 ever launched, and making changes to, I mean, if you remember the train on the tracks metaphor that Rod gave, trains on the tracks, right? If we can fit an update in while it stops and it stops, then we're great, but it's going to take full expansions to rework some of the things we want to fix. And so I think that's why we're seeing that now. And now, 2023, right? So we're in year 3 now of Diablo. It'll be, year 3 in June, right?
Yeah.
So year 3, now I mean, the track is still laid out in front of the game, I'm sure, but now they've been able to take the feedback from the community from the first year of Diablo, and we're starting to see those implementations come in a little more actively. So I don't think it's a matter of like they weren't listening, now they are. I think it's a matter of we need to ship this game, we ship this game, and now we can actually fix the things we screwed up. So the way I really like to put it, and this is super cynical, is the beta test is over, the game's going live on April 28th. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Um, but that it just reminds me of that line that Rod had said, that train on the tracks line, which is, I mean, while I appreciate the insight, it just also informs a lot of the decisions you've seen over the last 2 years.
Yeah. No, it is good to remember in that regard, like where we are coming from and where we are kind of going. I will
Copium
state,
hat's back on now, though. We're hyped. We're good.
oh,
Copium hat's back, but yeah.
I was take it back off.
Oh, sorry. Copium hat's back off. Sorry.
I did notice, and I'm sure you may have picked up on it in, and maybe it's still a down the road thing. The reliquary is not changed yet.
It's true. It's
Uh,
true. Trains
this
on
is
the tracks,
I
Zan.
know.
Trains on the tracks.
Here's the thing: just switch the card out because we had a different system we were fine with.
I liked it better before. I think everyone did. Actually, you know what? Sound for those that are actually listening and interact with us on YouTube. Sound off in the comments. Do you like the new reliquary system more than the old battle pass? Or was the old battle pass, while it was a little clunky, way better? I thought the old battle pass was way better, but I'd be
Hmm?
curious if I'm just crazy, if no one else feels that way. But I feel like most people feel the way that we do. Let's
I
find out.
I would personally like to invite anybody who is a huge proponent of the new system to come on the show. Uh,
Yeah.
I would love to
Sell
get
us on
that
it.
insight. I'd be curious
Yeah.
how you could be so wrong and say it to our face.
I mean, I'm sure there's probably an upside we haven't thought of. I'm sure there is. I don't like I'm spending my nights thinking about the reliquary, but like,
I don't
oh
know.
man, it's
Um,
tough, dude. It's tough.
yeah. But if that's my biggest complaint is that
Yeah, yeah,
this system that I don't care for but is functionally fine is still in it. Like that's the only negative takeaway I have at the moment. I think we're doing okay because we've got bear companions. You know, we got bear companions. It's gonna be so
you
great.
and your damn bear companions.
It's a druid staple to not have them felt egregious, but to get them, that feels good. That that's what we
And
need.
in case we didn't say it loud enough for the internet out there, also loot filters for Diablo 4 as well, not just
Yeah,
Diablo 2, but also Diablo 4. So,
yeah,
uh,
that is
yeah,
crazy. One thing that did also come to light is we're kind of just like ticking off. You know, we're getting to the tail end of the show here. Um, is Soul of Self-Found will not launch with Lord of Hatred. Uh,
yeah.
they did acknowledge that in the Sanctuary sit down
Is it
today.
gonna launch mid-season like the tower did? Like,
I hope not. It seems as if they are. There's got to be a lot to make that work. You have a game that is an open world game, and you have the ability to trade with other people. How do you mitigate that? What does that actually look like? There's logistics there, but it doesn't seem like they're giving up on it. They know there is that hunger and desire. So hopefully, I will like it as we are still going to have the tower and have those leaderboards. It would be nice to actually have that in place, but
yeah,
you know whatever.
we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, there's still more. There are still more things to talk about. Um, but let's just let's revel in the hype. We'll have more to kind of come back.
Drink it in.
Um, we'll probably put out another podcast and maybe we'll meet in about like a week or two as we've gotten a little bit more D2R time. I've already talked to Macro. He is keen to podcast soon. Maybe we'll bring him on. He is a great Diablo 2 guy to kind of walk us
Yeah, I'd love
through.
to pick his brain about the Warlock in D2
Yeah,
and how he. I mean, for someone like Macro and like the other content creators that have so much. I mean, look, I have a lot of time in Diablo 2, and I know
right,
a lot about Diablo 2. I don't. A shred of the information and math that these guys have. It would be super fun to pick his brain on his thoughts of the Warlock and the balancing of it all and how it interacts and how different or similar it is to other classes in Diablo 2. I would
right.
love to have that conversation with him. That'd be great.
Yeah. He was invited on for tonight, but obviously a little busy right now. Uh, I
Probably, yeah, I would imagine
I
so.
popped into his stream today. He looks exhausted as shit, and that's logical. He's been going hard on the game.
Get some sleep,
So,
drink lots of
yeah,
fluids, Mac. You got this, dude.
yeah, we believe in you. Um, but let's see. I'm going to do something I rarely do, which is give him notice early. I gave him a week's notice for what this show was going to be. I'm getting better. Also,
Spoiler alert, team. Xanth doesn't usually give me or Nine a week's notice on podcast episodes. So
some of the times I do.
some of the times, yeah.
When did you know
Yeah.
about this one?
When we talked about it last week on
That's a
the yep,
week's notice.
yep, that's
You're
true.
welcome. And look, here I
That's
am
true.
already talking about the next one. That's your
That's true.
notice.
You know what? That's true.
And
You
that's
know what,
your
Xanth? I don't
notice,
know.
everybody.
You're changing, and I don't like it.
Look at this face. Look at this beard. Like that's change. I gotta apologize to anybody who watches on YouTube. This ain't it? I will bring the mustache back. It's
It's
also
almost
just been
March.
it's almost been really cold, so I need this for
It's warm.
warmth. Like,
Yeah, it's true.
but
It's true.
it'll come back eventually. Uh, right now, you can just deal with this grizzled man here. Anyways, we don't need to talk about facial hair. We don't need to worry. We've got a brand new class in Diablo 2 to play. We have it coming in Diablo Immortal. We have it coming in Diablo 4. And we are only a little over 2 months away, 2 months and 2 weeks until we can. And honestly, February is the shortest month. Honestly, I have to say
Allegedly.
honestly about that. Like I'd be lying. What? That makes no
I
sense.
don't know. Fact checkers, get in the
Somebody
comments. Let us know.
actually
Is February the
the
shortest month?
shortest month, but 2 months and 2 weeks until we are playing um, the Lord of Hatred expansion. So there's a lot
And
that's
having conversations with War Plans McGee, voiced
with
by Zan.
warplanes, and when I'm finally credited in a Diablo
Yeah.
game like I've always wanted. So
Well, it's about time. I mean, it's about
yeah,
time you get your credit where credit's due.
yeah. With Warplans McGee. Uh, let's close it out as we all wait. Sound off on your impressions on the reveal. Are you enjoying D2R? Are you excited for D4? This is a genuinely exciting time to again be in this fandom. We've gotten to be able to say that a few more times recently of just like how exciting it is. And
And I'm not, and I'm also not sure if everyone knows this or not. There is a confirmed second expansion for Diablo 4 coming.
yeah,
just want to come back to that. I know this is,
to
but it's
be
really
fair,
happening.
it is wild to think that Diablo 2 got a new class before Diablo 4 got a second expansion. If that was on your like bingo, you're
That is true. I
like
had not
you
thought
would
about
have
that. That's a good
who
point.
would ever predict that? Like I before Diablo 4 gets a second expansion, Diablo 2 will get a new class.
Yeah,
Absolutely wild.
yeah, it's wild.
That's the world
Yeah,
we live in now.
it is.
So let us know your thoughts. I'll pop in and uh, give a comment or two. Uh, and thanks to everybody who does comment on YouTube, on Spotify. Uh, I see those Spotify comments. I don't. My Spotify's linked to my real name, so I don't comment on there. But I see you guys. Thank you. Thanks for popping off. We appreciate it.
I don't use Spotify.
Yeah, I. That's the conversation for a different day. But yeah, we appreciate it. Anyways, let's close it out as we always do with a moo, moo, moo.
Moo 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 moo.